It's the Ride Along, Rough Riders Radio. This is your girl, Info 40, Buddha the Bulldog, Hezzy's in the building, and we have a special guest, Little Beds.
What's up, y'all?
What's good?
What's going on?
Welcome to the Ride Along.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Yeah, and of course. So let's just start from the beginning. Let's just see, like, who is Little Beds? Where are you from? Tell us about yourself, and how you got started in music, and let's start from there.
Well, I'm from the Bronx, Boogie Down. But I basically got in music with dancing in general. I'm not gonna lie, it had nothing to do with writing rhymes or anything like that. But like 5th grade, I came into poetry, and then from there, I had a bunch of people around me that was musically, gifted. So I went to them, and I had a project in 5th grade, and then from there, it just transformed me into like who I was, because it just gave me a different vibe of, rhythm, hip hop, and just in general, just music in general, just different.
At what age did you start dancing?
Well, from when I was real young. It's a joke in my house because they call me Celia Cruz because I just wouldn't stop dancing. So that's my nickname in my house, Celia Cruz, if you know who she is and everything.
I don't, but now I got I thought they heard something, but you know how the names just...
Right, so they call me Celia in the house or anything like that. So
what was the name again?
Celia Cruz.
Celia Cruz.
She got that azúcar.
Was you inspired most by her to start dancing, or was it just music in general?
Just music in general.
Okay.
Music in general, but just my grandmother giving me that name and just having more history and just looking into music more because of that, because of her and who she was. And funny thought, I know people are gonna be like, what you was thinking, but I thought she was Dominican, but she's actually Colombian.
Yeah.
So it's a big difference of heritage and how she is and everything like that. So it just gave me a different dive into music and things like that. But when it came to like dancing, but I'm really inspired by Sierra and like Missy Elliott when it comes to dancing and stuff like that.
Dope. What pushed you to get into poetry?
Poetry, like I said, it was like a 5th grade project.
Yeah.
And it was just to see, it was English class. So it was just to see if, it was just to form and just to study it and just to see if we had the gift for it or just the interest for it. Right. So that was just a project for me, and I just got really into it. And then 5th grade, just poetry just in general was a big thing to me. Okay. It's different from hip hop and rapping, because poetry and rapping is two different things. Like the rhythm of it and just the style of it is just two different things. But when I went to my sister's ex-boyfriend, then he was more into hip hop and everything like that. So I'm like, hey, just I took some poetry to him, and I'm like, hey, can you just give me some rhyme to it? And he helped me like format it. Okay. Because the way I format, poetry is formatted in different ways than rapping is, and just in general, a different type of styles of music, So when he did that, and it just helped me transform into a little bit, because I'm a little bit of this and a little bit of that.
Okay.
So
that's where the name came from.
So did you give up dancing though, or do you still?
No, I don't give up dancing. I haven't, but I would like to get more into it, more depth into it. But that comes a big part into having the group around you when it comes to just music, dancing, anything career-wise. Having the group around you and having the stigma of like, that's okay, and okay, we're gonna do this together, and like, cause where I come from, the Bronx, of course, everybody has their own hood that they come from, but it's not normal to think outside the box. It's not okay to be like, oh, you're gonna do this and you're gonna do that. Like, the type of dancing I was into was ballet. So just ballet in general,
that's fine.
Right, exactly. Just in general, in ballet you have to start, in their eyes, at 4 years old. Okay. So if you don't start at there, you really don't have a career in that. But just coming from the Bronx in general and thinking I can do ballet is something outside the box. Correct. So that's just a piece of dancing that I would like to do, but that I like to do.
Another question: would you like, let's say, you do a show? Would you incorporate your own choreography into it?
I would love to.
How would that be?
I would love to. Of course, I would take somebody's personal advice, somebody who has career, like a full career in it, and who has, just in general, just know what they're doing.
Correct.
Because it would just help me in like my critique and like just in general how I dance. It would just help me.
Okay.
So of course, I would just always try to put my own input to it, and that's why being an independent artist is so crucial, because you are able to put your own input to it instead of it just being pushed to the side, because that's the reason why I'm an independent artist, because I want my opinion to be heard, I want my opinion to be seen, I want my side of the story to be seen.
So what's going to set like a little bit apart from everybody else? Because everybody wants to be a rapper.
Right.
We do have like now it's like the year that, the last couple of years it's been females have really taken over. So what's going to make everybody look at your music compared to the next female's music?
What makes you different?
No disrespect to the females coming out and everybody like that,
It's a disrespect.
Disrespect,
It's okay.
Respectfully. But I just feel like, music has lost its way in a sense, a little bit. Of course, everybody has their own lane, but it's timeless music that is what really matters. So of course you can have a hit, it can make you money and everything like that, but what makes me different is that I try to bring back the stigma or like the ness of the old school,
right?
But still new school. At the same time, I still try to cater to what the people want, but I still want to be me. I don't want to change who I am. That's why I am little bit. Like, I don't want to be able to, just because they say, oh, this is the style right now, or this is the thing right now, this is what you got to do. But that's what makes me different. I just want to be able to, for the kids, most likely, most important is the kids. And the image that we, as women, as female influencers outside of rappers, because, that's what you are, an influencer.
Correct.
And, we set a real high standard for the kids and how they look at us and what they're supposed to be and what is the it. And a lot of it is it's not it.
No,
it's not it.
Well, what's your take on the music that's out now? Like, let's say, for instance, like Sexy Red and Ice Spice and their style of music is real, overly sexual.
Right.
Now, how do you feel about that? Like, do you feel like your music should change to that?
Not necessarily. Of course, sex sells, provocative sells, but at the same time, that's what makes me me. Like, of course, they're doing what they're doing. Of course, they, can't knock them.
Right.
But at the same time, that's what they know, and you can't be mad at if what they know is what's getting them by and what's getting them what they
Yeah.
Of course, the music is good. At the same time, is it for kids? It is for the But at the same time, it is what it is. That's their music, and that's their style. You can't knock them for that, and it's working for them.
Very true.
But I'm not gonna sit here and say I don't listen to their music. But do I prefer my kids or my nephews or my nieces listen to them? Of course not. But at the same time, that's their music.
Would you go that route? Would you go this super sexy route?
Of course, as a woman, it's okay to be sexy. It's okay to own yourself. It's okay to do that. But there's a certain limit to that. And again, it's where you come from and what you're okay with, because everybody has their own walk of paths and they know, because I can't say, like I said, everybody has their own walk of paths, and what they're okay with is what they're okay with, but what you're taught is what you're taught, and what you learn is what you learn.
Yeah.
So,
I have a question, right? So you see how you say that right now, right?
right.
Let's say randomly a major label comes to you and be like, I want to give you this contract of, let's say, $5 million, but you have to do this.
Right.
You have to do the sexy route.
Right.
Would you do that? for the 5 million.
In a way that it would be.
That you can't change it. That's what your route is. You're gonna be the next Sexy Red, the next Ice Spice, the next Suki.
Is your integrity for sale?
Right.
Basically,
Exactly.
That's what he said.
That's basically what I was trying to say.
But
I'm saying those words. That's basically.
And this is the thing. And this is.
But I'm sorry not to cut you off, but just let it be known that I advise everybody to whatever your standard is, don't go above that, no matter what it is. So even if you say you'll do that from the jump, okay, cool. But if you say that you won't, is your integrity.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
Exactly.
Correct.
For me, that has been something that has blocked my career.
Okay.
And yes, could have been in a different pedestal, could have been in a different light. Yes. And sometimes do I look at it like, okay, should have I done that because I could have took care of my family a little bit better? Because that's the main goal of all of that.
That's in the back of the
I think that's the main goal for everyone.
You're saying this offer has been put in front of you. Is that what you said? Or is it you're imagining this happened, or this is actually did happen?
It happened already.
Just in general, I'm not gonna say like a major label or anything like that, but just in certain times and certain experiences that I let have, slip by.
I got you.
And that's why time is of the essence, and tomorrow isn't promised.
Correct.
And sometimes you do have to grasp the moment when it comes.
Do you regret it?
No, because is your integrity, that's the main question. Is your integrity, like, can you go to sleep at night knowing you're okay? But again, I think it's because of different aspects of life and where you come from. Because if that's okay in your household, then you can be okay. But if it's not okay in your household, if it's not taught in your household, then that's a different story.
Are you trying to be like, I'm not going to say but are you trying to be an idol to like the younger generation, like someone to actually be looked up to? Because I heard exactly what you said, but
I definitely heard that too.
I would hope. Yes, I would definitely hope, because
you're trying to be like a forward, straight, real.
Because I have came from a lot of things, and I have came from, a lot of hard experiences. Age doesn't make you, experiences does. Correct. And I have a lot of early experiences that I shouldn't have went through, that I have went through. Correct. And not all my music tells it, but my music tells it, and that what helps me do my music, because certain music is not what's going on right now. But as long as the people that I reach out to is hearing me, that's enough for me.
So it sounds like you want to be more of a advocate or a voice for those that are mute, that have no,
that don't have to do what everybody else is doing.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I would hope, because there's so many people that been too real and too authentic with themselves, like Erykah Badu, Alicia Keys, Lauryn Hill. There's just a list of people that I grew up watching. It's a different era, I am a 90s kid, but at the same time, there's like, I'm an old soul. I'm definitely an old soul. So at the same time, it's like, the era that I grew up on, they were just more real, authentic, and you didn't have to do too much to be you. And if they didn't like you, oh well, I'm still gonna be you. Yeah. Like, even though, not to bring him into this, Kanye is a little, but at the same time, he's still him. We're not gonna go into that. But you know what I'm saying? Like,
he's not crazy.
He's not. But at the same time, you just gotta look at it for what everything is. Like, there's in music, and that's another thing. Like, if you are somebody in a music career, and you have so many people, even DMX, like, you have so many people who are so in the limelight, and then you see their personal life not so. It's like, do I really want to do that?
Right.
And me being a personal person who I am, it's like, do I really want to do that to myself? But you have to make that sacrifice when it comes to having a gift that the Creator gave you. Because if the Creator gave you that gift, you have to, like, it's either you're gonna ignore it or you're gonna, he's not gonna let you ignore it at that.
I think a lot of young kids look up to these artists And like you said, they're just regular people. They make music and they,
Right.
you know, they have this craft. But then outside of that, they go home and live their
Right.
regular life. They live whatever they got to deal with, their issues, demons, whatever. And, you know, these kids are, you know, generations of kids are looking up to them that as role models, and they're not even wanting to be role models. Like,
Right.
You know, they're not coming into this to have children look up to them. They're just coming in, like I said, to make a bag or to just, you know, get a song out there. And if you're an artist like you're want to come in and want young girls to look up to you, want to have
'Cause it's hard.
the music,
Yeah.
and the people you mentioned like Lauryn Hill and, you know, Jill Scott, Erykah Badu, those type of artists, you know, they portray that.
Correct.
They portray that type of positivity. They don't put things out sexually. They,
Right.
you know,
The
and their
integrity
music
is
is
very-
about uplifting
Correct.
young females and positive messages.
Right.
So is that where you're going to continue? That's your music right there?
I mean,
like, how would you describe your music then?
my music is every genre, but at the same time, I don't fit into, like, you know, I'm not gonna sit here and say Little Bit is provocative and this, or like, I don't fit in a sexy red lane, and I'm okay with that because that's her lane, and that's, you know, that's the type, you know,
Right.
because there's nothing wrong with her doing what she's doing. There's nothing wrong with Ice Spice doing what any of them doing, because that's what they do at the end of the day. And you can't knock nobody for doing what they do, because that's, if you're gonna recognize real, that's real at the end of the day. But when it comes to being a role model, that's really hard because I'm not perfect. Who am I to say that, oh, look up to me and the things that I do? Because it is hard to be somebody, because I am a sister, I'm an aunt, I am, you know, at the end of the day. So I'm a friend. It's hard to be any of those. And in everyday life, to be a role model, you gotta be perfect, in a sense, you know.